two, one. Hello, everybody. Today we have somebody very special. We have Caroline from OCARINACARO, and I'm really excited to be able to present her and highlight her as our Maker of the Month in our Global Ocarina Community Facebook group. Just wanted to remind everybody, if you're not a part of Global Ocarina Community and you like ocarinas, please be sure to join our group. We have discussions, monthly topics, and also monthly interviews with people from the Ocarina community. Like I said, today is a special day because we have Ocarina Caro, and I'm really excited to delve into our interview today. But the really awesomest thing that I just want to ask you today, first of all, hi Ocarina Caro, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, and you?
Wonderful, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you today is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's just get started
So,
with something simple.
first, my name is Caroline Soucy, and I live in Quebec, Canada. And also, I'm 34 years old, and I make ocarinas since I'm like 17 or 16. I don't really remember. And I have a full-time job, a career that is very nice. I'm a medical technologist in the real life, and I work in an hospital lab, so in the pathology field, and also sometimes in the biochemistry field. I really love fantasy and everything related to medieval, and I like dragons. They are my favorite animals. So it's a fantasy animal, but I really love them.
Very
And
cool. I
I
can see a little
also
bit of that in your work as well, which I have a piece here that I'll show in a minute. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. And also, I learned flute, transverse flute, the concert flute, since I'm like 14 years old, and I still play flute since then. So also, I learned cello for 4 years, but I don't have a cello anymore. And I recently started to learn harp, the lever harp or lap harp, as they are called. So I have one just over there, my
Ooh,
beautiful
very
harp.
cool. It's next to
So,
Charmander. Love it.
oh, Pokemon are my guardian. So I have Charmander, and also I have
It's a
SPN just
Sylveon
right
or
there. Yeah.
Espeon, sorry.
Oh, I love Sylveon, but I don't have any plush of him or her. So that's what I love, and that's what I do.
Very cool. It makes me wish I had my Vaporeon plushie with me right now. But while you were talking about the cello, I was thinking about the one that I have right behind
Ah,
me.
I see it.
So if I could transport it to Canada, I would lend it to you so you could play for a little while.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
yes. I want to try it for sure.
Another day will do. That'll be
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so thanks so much, Caro. I love always getting to know more about you and your journey and how you got into making ocarinas. So that's the next question I wanted to ask you. How did you get started into making ocarinas? I know you said you started when you were very young, but what was your story? What got you into ocarinas in the first place?
Oh, I played Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I absolutely wanted to try to make one. So my first attempt was to take a coconut shell and try to put halves together, but I didn't know how to do the voicing. I knew how to drill holes, but the voicing was a real issue. So I bought some clay in a hobby store, and then my father told me, "Hey, I think in the store we can find an ocarina." So okay, we went into a store, and I found some unbranded uh, four holes ocarinas. So we bought two of them, and there's one I really love, and I was starting making the same shape with the clay, and my first ocarinas didn't play at all, and then I had one nut, and after I started to drill more holes, and it was better. And one day I came across um, a songbird ad into the Nintendo Power, because I always bought the Nintendo Power issues magazine, and I was like, wow, I really need one of their ocarinas. So my really first online transaction of all my life was a songbird, soprano, a B flat. So I was amazed about the sound, and also um, I started to reduce the size of my ocarina attempts, and I understood. I understood more the I don't know how to say, but I knew that I was more on the good path by reducing the volume, because that's why I didn't have a good sound, and I didn't know about the relation between the holes, the size of the chamber, and everything. And also on the internet at this time, I was like 14 or 15 years old, and I I didn't know how to search for this, and also my English was very not good. So I was starting, and I made several small ocarinas that were fine for me. And there's one of the ocarinas that I was selling on eBay when I was
Nice.
it was like 3 years after I started to make ocarinas. I felt more comfortable to offer them to the world, and I was a real beginner for eBay and all the online stuff. My English was better. I was at the college school, so um, I was an adult. When you're under 18, it's harder to sell things on the internet. And also, my parents were afraid about um, me being, how to say, they were afraid that someone would steal my info, my credit bank info, and my identity. So it took a really big energy, and I had to convince my father to just buy my first ocarina on the internet and have my first transaction with their credit card. So that's my story for the beginning. And then in I think it was in 2009 that I started still selling my ocarinas on eBay. And also I started to make 12 holes ocarinas in
Ah, I love it.
thank you, but it plays really bad. It was in
It's nice to see the
2013.
history of how you've evolved from there, though. That's what I like to see. So that's really cool.
Yes, and the ergonomics are horrible.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
but
definitely
it's great.
not as good as the ones that you sell right now, because
No,
the ones that you sell right now are really good. Oh my gosh.
yeah, thank you very much.
Of course, of course.
So,
Well, thank you so much for sharing about your story about getting into the ocarina. Um, did you have anything else you wanted to share? If you did, we have plenty of time. But I also wanted to get to looking at some of the models of ocarinas that you make and what you specialize in. So is it okay if we go on to the next part as well?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Awesome. So, um, first of all, my next question, and I'm trying to be better about reading the actual sheet, because in my last interview I didn't, because I kept on just going off the cuff. So I'm trying not to do that. But so on my sheet I have written um, it's I think three questions, and they're all in one big category. So you could pretty much I think answer them all at the same time. What makes your ocarinas unique? what kind of ocarinas do you make and do you specialize in? And just personally, because I've been one of your customers in years past, and one of the ocarinas that you made was so pretty, and I have to tell you in a minute why I don't have it anymore. You'll smile when I tell you the story. But this is the ocarina that I have from you right now. It's one of my favorites. It's a wolf tooth ocarina. And I saw this one actually before meeting you. Like I had to search a wolf ocarina because I was really interested in this, and this is how I found you a couple of years ago. Um, Before we were friends, I just found wolf ocarina and I searched for this, and it was so nice. So if it's okay with you, I'm gonna play a little bit of it just to give a sound sample of what this one sounds like.
Yeah. Bravo.
Thank you, thank you. This is what it looks like in the back too. Like I said, I really like the design of it. I wish my lighting was a little bit better, but I really like the design of this one. And
Thank
it's
you.
just a really, really pretty ocarina. So I'm gonna let you answer that question. I'm gonna say it again because you. I just want to say all of the parts of that question again. So, what makes your ocarinas unique? What kind of ocarinas do you make, and what do you specialize in?
I like to make 12 holes ocarinas because it's like a standard for every player, but I like to customize them. So I like to make several shapes, several things that we never see, like my recent. Just a moment.
Yeah, for sure. No worries. In the meantime, I'm gonna show a little bit more of that wolf ocarina so y'all could see it. This ocarina has a really cool texture right here, kind of like the mane of the wolf, and it feels kind of really nice. It's right next to the pointy ears, and these are kind of pointy, which look
I
really
really
cool
have.
as a design feature. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, okay. So I like to customize ocarinas, and also it's like my art expression. So when I feel I want to do something, I really feel that I have what I call the flame. It's the inspiration to make something. So I had the flame to do something like this
I love that one. I think I've told you
because
privately that I really like that one too.
thank you. And also I felt like um, um, I didn't felt comfortable with several things in my life, and I felt like I had to write "Never Give Up" somewhere. So I did it on the Ocarina, and that's better since. And also, I make ocarinas like this, and it's a glow in the dark. I don't know if we can see this. It's really powerful. It's the most powerful glow in the dark paint I have never used. I've ever used.
You can see
So
a little
it's
bit of
hard
it.
to show.
I understand because it's daytime right now. But yeah, you can see a little bit of it. That's super cool. It kind of looks
Yeah.
like something from Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it's the same leaf than on
Yes.
the sort of brooch
Yeah.
brush
On the brooch. Yeah.
brooch.
Yeah.
And also my latest invention was this one. So it's like wood.
Mm-hmm.
I put shellac on this and I put it on fire so it burned completely. And I put some glow in the dark paint in the cracks. So it's glow. It's really it, it really glows. It glows a lot
I saw
in
that
the
one on
dark.
Instagram. Let me see if I can find the picture,
Yes,
just so that y'all can see it. That one, the one that she just showed, guys, that one is so cool. Um, if you see it, like the picture of it, I'll share on my phone. This is what it looks
Yeah,
like with the lights off. That
it's
one
this
is
one. Yeah, that
super
one.
cool. And
And my signature is written in an English language with the Tengwar writings, and it's made with bluish um, glow in the dark paint.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Well,
I
we're
can
talking.
play. Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
please. We'd love
I will
that.
just play a little bit. I think this ocarina is made in B because I'm still figuring out how to have the right breath requirement for my ocarinas. And
Hmm.
uh, my first ocarinas um, a low breath, uh, were a low breath ocarina. But now I'm gone too far, so I have um, uh, to blow less hard to play ocarinas. So I will have to adjust to have the right medium breath requirement that I'm searching for. So
Okay. Very nice. I love it.
thank you.
Um, if you sometimes Zoom does this, but if you have the ability to switch the Zoom settings, and if you need a minute so they can hear it.
I
Okay, okay, no worries, no
I know
worries.
I can't just because I'm on the iPhone.
Okay,
I
I
should
see.
have used my computer. I don't have access to that setting. I'm
No
sorry.
worries, you're okay. That's why I'm glad I gave one of the sound samples, because I hope they could hear that okay. And did you were you able to? Okay, good. If you could hear that okay, then they could hear it too.
Yes.
But her ocarinas in person sound beautiful, and I absolutely love their sound. So thank you so much for sharing about what makes your ocarinas unique. So I have a follow up question, just because I want everybody to know what you do. So you talked about how you do customized orders. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Can you tell me about kind of like what your process is, what kind of custom orders you've made before, and um, I guess what is available for somebody that is interested in getting a custom order from you?
So I like to make the famous wolf tooth, and the wolf tooth was a request from someone who have seen a picture on the Ocarina Network forum, the old forum, and the original sketch was from another person who actually wanted to make a wolf tooth, but using a necklace with a moon shape. So
Ah,
it comes from far away. So
okay.
I decided to remove the moon shape because it's not my idea. And I wanted to have the wolf howling. So, and with the other part of the moon, I transformed it into a tooth. So I called it the wolf tooth. So we have a wolf howling and a tooth. I was making it, I produced it for a long time. And these times, I don't make really a lot of them since I'm more working on my silver ocarinas. But also, I have asked to do the same. So a tooth with a lamb. So I had to make a lamp, and I said to myself, oh, that's easy. But I had a problem. The first lamp exploded into the kiln. And
Oh no.
after, the second one exploded too. So I had to make a third one, but I was not able to make the ocarina good enough to sell it. So I made like dozens of the lamp, and we were laughing because it was so easy to make, but I didn't I hadn't the I don't know how to say, but it was not the right time for me to make this sort of custom ocarinas, but I pushed myself, and then I succeed to make it, and it's done. The customer is happy,
That's good.
and yes, but sometimes ideas can be really fun to make, and 2 or 3 days after, I don't feel like I want to make it. So it's like, well, it's less fun to make custom orders at sometimes, but the last one I've been asked to do is the horse call from the Twilight Princess game, and
Oh.
we can see the post on Ton or Ocarina Global Ocarina community.
Mhm.
But I have been asked to make it, and I said, okay, I will try, but now I want to try. Maybe in 2 days I will not want to make it anymore, but I have to wait for the good time when I feel it.
Yeah.
It's very important for me to have what I call the flame.
Mhm.
So when I feel a little energy inside that tells me, go for it, do it, just do it. And I'm searching for something that I didn't know, not show, I didn't show yet, but also I have been asked to make a Zelda Ocarina of Time replica left-handed that is pretty accurate to the game for someone called Lake Steel. It's for his next small Zelda movie. He's making a Zelda series, and it's really impressive. I really loved his movie, so I can't wait to produce his ocarina. I'm making it, so it's on the table somewhere,
Awesome.
but it's still fresh clay at the moment, so it's not very beautiful, but it will come.
Very, very cool. Okay.
I think. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just
go ahead. Go
just a
ahead.
moment. It will look like this.
Awesome.
So
Oh
it's
my
really
gosh.
big. It measures
Yeah.
7 inches, and it's really hard to hold it and play it
Mhm.
like this. It's not a good one because it's one of my first
Mhm.
Zelda attempt, but I I'm keeping it just because it's awesome, and it's my early
It looks really pretty.
transverse. Yeah, thank you.
I love the glaze and the paint and all the stuff you did to seal it. I do have one of your left-handed Zelda replicas. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know where it is though. I just moved, so I may have to like pause the interview and try to see if I can find it. Are you okay with waiting, Caro? Just for a
No
minute.
problem. No
Okay,
problem.
I'm gonna pause it for just a minute. Okay, so now we're
Yeah.
back,
Yes.
and I found the ocarina that is the left-handed Zelda replica that Caroline makes, and this one is a 12-hole transverse one. Very very cool design. She also makes some right-handed. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. She makes these left-handed and right-handed, and actually, there's not a whole lot of people that make left-handed ocarina. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that? When did you start making left-handed ocarinas, and also tell me more about if you've had a lot of requests, or if you've had at least a couple of requests to make more left-handed ones.
So I started to make left-handed Zelda replicas because I think Link is left-handed, and in the game he holds a left-handed ocarina. So I felt that it's wrong to make them in right-handed version. So I started to completely make them just like this, and people were like, "Hey, that's a nice idea." So I know that I'm not the first one to make left-handed ocarinas, but I'm I really started to make them because of the game. So I have never been asked to make something else than Zelda Ocarina of Time replicas and left-handed, but uh, I found it very interesting to make them because my molds are almost um, uh, the same. Two parts are almost the same, like symmetrical. So it's pretty easy for me to switch from one to other. I just have to push somewhere to get the voicing right because it has a curve inside, but it's easy to fix. I can add some clay to make it in the same direction than the airstream, just to have the edge um, to have the right ocarina um, anatomy. So it's easy for me to make them in left-handed. Just for the tuning, it's harder. But I think in my life, I just saw like 5 or 6 left-handed replicas. And if someone asked me to make a left-handed ocarina, I can make it in any shape or any theme or anything. And if needed, I can do a mold for left-handed ocarinas. But it's pretty interesting because it's like violin. My grandfather is a left-handed violinist, and he has been told by his teacher that it's impossible to switch from one side to another side. But I know that left-handed violins exist, and his teacher told him that you must learn on um, the right-handed instrument. But
Interesting.
why not just switch? Why does it has to be a right-handed ocarina? It can be a left-handed ocarina for lefties. It's the same on the music sheet.
Right.
So I'm really open to request from left-handed persons, and also mirroring the holes on pendants if needed.
Very cool. I didn't know about the mirroring the holes on the pendants. That's really awesome. In my experience as a teacher, I've for almost 90% of the time, right-handed ocarinas have been very successful for most of my students, but there's been like 10% of students that have been left-handed and just have not always been successful on a right-handed ocarina. So just from my experience as well, I always think that left-handed instruments should be made and given a chance because um, some people's brains just work differently, and it's
Yeah.
okay to have them and have that as an option. Of course, it's harder to find those options, but I'm glad that you are one of the people that makes them. So that's also something really
Yeah.
cool. This is my very bad attempt because I'm right-handed and this is a
Oh.
left-handed ocarina. This is my very bad attempt to try to play it. It's okay.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good attempt.
Thank you, thank you. I'm working on my skills for being able to learn this one because it just feels backwards to what I'm normally used to. So that's really cool that you make those. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
almost forgot. I don't know why I didn't remember to bring that one, but I'm so glad that now I did. Um, okay, so my next question, so that we don't run out of time, is gosh, what's your favorite ocarina you've ever made?
My favorite ocarina that I've ever made. I have uh, two kind of favorite ocarinas. I have the kind of ocarina that plays great, and also I have a beautiful big
Ah,
ocarina.
So an artistic one and a beautiful sound. Then you have
Yeah.
two favorites. Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
My best ocarina so far is this one, but I already changed something on this one
Okay.
that I'm still working on my table. So it's my very favorite sounding ocarina that has a very
Ah.
strong last note. The high F on an
Mhm.
alto C is the weakest note of all 12 holes ocarina, but this one has a beautiful IF. I say IF because it's a B ocarina. So
Mhm.
technically, it's a high E,
Okay.
but because of my settings, we don't hear this note. But
Mhm.
but this is my best ocarina I have ever made, and also I modified my ergonomics according to some comments in the ocarina swap we made, hosted by Mark Hansen.
Oh, that's
I
right. The
will,
Ocarina Maker group, right?
yeah, and I will take only 1 minute to search for my beautiful ocarina that I made just once in my life. I'll
Yes,
come back.
please do. In the meantime, I'm gonna give everybody a close up of the left-handed ocarina that was a Zelda replica, so everybody can see it. Again, the biggest feature design is the left-handedness, and she also has a Triforce, which is really cool. She does have her signature right here um, on the nose or the end of the ocarinas right here. You can kind of see it right here. This one is coated with a bright kind of glossy finish, which is really nice for a Zelda replica. And I also really like this ring around it that's color of silver. It's very, very nice. So, just so everybody can see, this is a really good left-handed Zelda replica, and I don't know very many people that do left-handed Zelda replicas. So, just so you know, OCariNACARO is a really great place to get your left-handed Zelda replica if that's something you're really wanting. Um, hey, welcome back.
Hey, so I have here a night wrap.
Oh, that's
So
awesome!
it's really hard to make. It took me like one whole day, but
Wow.
with all the carvings, I carved all the scales like this, and also with a needle tool, I carved more scales. And it's hard to make the wings and the tail without breaking them and making sure they are strong enough to stay in this shape while working and um, tuning the ocarina. So it's a 4 hole um, pendant ocarina.
Wow.
So you have to play in the butt, but it's funny, but it's nice. It doesn't play very well, and I'm afraid it has several spiders living in this. So I will just try a little bit.
Okay.
It's really hard to play
Mm-hmm. That's
because
a
of
really
all the
beautiful
scales.
design, though. I love it.
Thank you. So here's the voicing,
Ah, that's the
and
one.
the mouthpiece is hidden into the tail. But
Okay, I
it
see
would
it.
be very nice to make it um, blowable from the tail. But I don't know how to make um, S-shaped mouthpiece. So I have to search for this, and it's hard also to make it very flat under. But I actually send them to make sure they are flush to the ground, and that reminds me of a little baby wolf that was holding an ocarina in its mouth
I remember
that
that. I
I
remember that.
sold. Yeah, a year ago. It was so cute, and it has two different eye colors,
Yeah.
and it was burned with matches, wood matches that was putting the I use matches to burn it. So, and on this one, I use the amber shellac, and on the wolf, the baby wolf ocarina, I use the clear shellac. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, the baby wolf hanging it's holding uh, technically the ocarina of time, and I have been asked to make the ocarina of crap in its mouth. It was
Oh my
a sort of a
gosh.
joke. For real,
That's funny.
the first version is was the ocarina of crap, but the ocarina of time is better.
For anybody
But
not familiar with what Caro is talking about, the Ocarina of Crap is this ocarina that you find very commonly on Amazon. I have it right now, but it's like put away. Like I'm not gonna get it out. But it's just an ocarina that doesn't sound very good and is very famous in the ocarina community for being a lot of people's first ocarina. And everybody always has question, why does my ocarina sound bad? And it's because it's the ocarina of crap. So that's what she's talking about. Good point. Good point. Okay, so I just want to take a minute. I do have a few more questions, but I want to take a minute to
Okay.
show a few more of your designs because I have them handy here on your Instagram. Can you share, if you want people to follow you? Can you share your Instagram um, with everybody?
Yeah, my Instagram account is um, Ocarina Caroline. So it's like Ocarina Caro with Lynn à la fin, at the end. So Ocarina Caroline, because Ocarina Caro was already used, but I think it's myself that used this account, but I don't know which email I use, which settings I used. So I made another one. So it's Ocarina Caroline.
Okay, Ocarina Caroline. Perfect.
Yeah.
This is another one of her
Ah, yeah.
designs. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Kraken Ocarina?
The Kraken Ocarina. It was a request from a person who loves the sea, and she wanted to have um, like a submarine with a Kraken on it, and also it took a lot. It took a lot of time to make it and make sure every color doesn't blend with the other on this one. So it's three layers of glaze for each color, but I had really to pay attention to this. And I have been asked to make another one. So I had to modify the design to make sure the first one was respected for the first person, because I really respect every um, I don't know how to say, but intellectual property.
Oh, okay, I
If you
see.
have an idea, I will not produce it two times. I really hate to reproduce them two times. So I made another one with a coral design. So with beautiful colors, and also pinnacles,
Oh, yes.
small. Uh, I don't know which animal is it. So I made several things on the coral kraken ocarina, and it was for another person loving Jack Sparrow and the sea and all.
Yes, yes.
So he made an awesome video with it, and I was
I saw that
amazed.
video.
So it's really time consuming to make um, special requests. It took me like 20 hours each to make, and they were sold around $130. So I mostly uh, lower my rate to make awesome pieces, but I know that people are often really happy with their special requests. But it's important for me to have the flame,
Yes.
to have the inspiration to make it. And it's awesome to make someone's dream come true. So I do the same with silver ocarinas. I had to make an Adventure Time 10 ocarina with an opal, and I did everything on the sketch. It's so small. I even wrote a 3-line thing in a language that I don't know, but it's awesome. I really did everything that the person asked, and she's amazed. And I feel really great with doing even though it took me like maybe 15 hours to make it. I'm happy.
Okay, so we've
So
talked a lot about your Alto C ocarinas, and that has been
yeah,
awesome. But I want to ask, just for everybody's info, do you make other ocarinas that are not Alto C? And I want to show a picture.
yeah. I recently started to make B flat ocarinas and also G tenor G or alto G ocarinas. I have one here with a left hand. Where it is? Oops. I can go too far. So this one is an
Nice.
alto G ocarina, and I have a mold. It's basically the same mold that than the alto C ocarina, but I made it bigger, and I have an intermediate mold between both that
Mm.
produce the B flat ocarina. Pardon. I don't know if we hear the
We
highest
could
note.
hear most of it, but some of the middle range got cut up. But the part we could hear was really beautiful. Love you
Okay,
sharing those ocarinas. I
thank you.
know we like I said we've talked a lot about Alto C, so I also want to ask. You mentioned silver ocarinas. I know that's a really big passion of yours, so I want to ask you. Tell me more about your silver ocarinas, and if you have any models handy for people to see. Um, do you have any so we could see what your work looks like?
Yeah, I have some here. Okay, so I have this one
Oh,
that
perfect.
has a Triforce on it.
Love it. What's the Triforce made of, if you don't mind me asking?
It's made of silver. It's the same material than
Okay.
this, but I use a 24 karat gold pen plater to plate the gold on it. So it's real gold on it, but
Wow.
it's a very thin layer. If we rub it with a polishing cloth, it, it will be erased with time. So when I sell them, I always write do not rub with the polishing cloth,
Okay.
so we can rub this surface but not the gold.
I see. Okay.
For the
Wow.
sound, I hope that we will be able to hear something.
Okay. We could hear a little
Oh,
bit of it. I love the sound of that the tiny ocarina. I know there's quite a few people that are huge fans of that ocarina. Rachel Wilson, Freckled Zelda included.
oh
She
yes.
always makes a lot of different videos with that ocarina, and I know she really loves it. Um,
Oh yes, she's awesome.
yeah, definitely. Huge shout out to her. But tell me a little bit about how you came to make those. Kind of what your inspiration was for making those.
um, when I bought my ocarina from Songbird, I also seen uh, the ad for the silver ocarina. So I have something just here.
Okay, perfect. thank you guys for joining us, by the way. Um, if y'all really enjoyed this interview, give it a thumbs up. Put in the comments what you would like for me to talk about next. If you'd like for me to interview another maker, if you'd like for me to interview somebody else, put it in the comment as well. So that way we could get that done for next month. Thank you guys for your support. Appreciate it.
So
Hey, welcome back.
welcome back. Thank you. So I have here the page
Oh,
from. It sounds like it seems to be something really. Um, it's like a rare thing to find. It's the
that's
Nintendo
cool.
Power magazine. I put
Yeah,
it into this to predict it
yeah,
because it was my first inspiration to have the pendant ocarina. And
right.
then with the pendant ocarina came this.
Oh, nice. I see.
And it's a really, really, really old
Yeah.
ordering form. You at this at that time you were able to use check
Oh, okay.
to order. It's a long time ago, and I have seen this. This is the silver ocarina.
Wow.
So I absolutely wanted to buy one, and when I wrote to the person who was the customer service, they told me that they were not producing it anymore. And also, I don't remember well, but I think I was able to put my email into a list or something. So I didn't have the cash at this time. I
Mm-hmm.
was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was ready, they were not able to sell them anymore. They were discontinued. So
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. So I went to the hobby store and I tried to. Um, I just bought a small chunk of silver, silver clay they had in in the store, and I made my very first silver carina. I have it just here.
That's what I was gonna ask if you had it. That's really cool. Well, she gets that. Um, oh, never mind. She got it
it's
already. Okay.
really, it's really old. Um, it's in here. I tried to. And I remember that I made it and I had to fire it with the torch. And my grandfather was with me outside with a big torch and a brick, and we were holding the torch. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it worked. So it's my very first silver
Woo!
carina.
That's awesome.
So it says 2009. I I did it.
Wow.
I made it in 2009.
That was the year I
And,
was graduating. That's awesome.
um, it doesn't play. Just a little bit,
Understandable.
but it's
The other one
awesome
that
to
you
have.
shared has a really beautiful sound. So the progress
Uh,
of being able to see your first one and then being able to see your current ones, oh my gosh, that is
oh yeah,
awesome. I love that.
thank you.
Well, thank you. You've been so awesome and willing to share your ocarinas and your experience and your story. I've had so much fun. So I only have two last questions for you today. Um,
Okay.
Actually, I only have one last question for you today. First of all, let me just thank you for taking the time to share your story. Also for
Thank
taking
you
the
too.
time. Oh yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. This is one of my favorite things to do every month. So, um, seriously, thank you for your time, and also thank you for sharing your story. So, my last question is, if somebody wants to order an ocarina from you, what's the best way for them to order an ocarina and follow the ocarina designs that you have?
You can contact me on Etsy, also on Instagram. I'm often on Etsy and Instagram. I have a lot of requests on Instagram with people looking at all my previous items that I sold in the past. So I like to use Etsy to make sure people has access to the previous OCarinas that I have made in the past. And also on Instagram, I always share my special OCarinas and videos. Uh, I am also on TikTok, but recently I'm really more on Instagram and Etsy. It's not a good idea to contact me by email because my emails always are not always in my primary mailbox. So sometimes I get random emails and I see them a month later. So Etsy and Instagram, you will find me and I will answer within 24 hours for sure. I'm always with my cell phone. It's my Arkenstone. I can't live without my cell phone. Yeah, that's me.
Yay. Okay. Well, I just again want to take the time to thank you. You've been an awesome help for us this month, and I just want to do my quick outro to everybody. I thank you again for watching here at Global Ocarina Community. If y'all enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a good reaction, and put a comment on there. What did you think about Carol's Ocarina? About Caroline's? I can't say your name in French. I'm gonna try. I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Caroline. What do you think about
Caroline.
Caroline? What do you think about
Yeah.
Caroline's Ocarinas? Did you have a favorite that she showed today? Um, did you guys connect with her story? Do you guys also find the Ocarina through Legend of Zelda as well? I put all of that in the comments. What other maker do you guys want to see next? Please also feel free to let me know. Do you guys want me to interview somebody different? Because I know somebody in a previous post said they wanted not just makers, but also teachers and performers and more people. Who do you want me to interview next? And I'll try my best to give it a shot. Thanks again,
Yeah.
Caro. I hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Just
Yes.
one thing. I just want to add one special thing. I will be making a Kickstarter project to make a solid gold ocarina. So
Ooh.
I made a gold plated silver ocarina, and my gold ocarina will be like this. And stay tuned for the rest.
Oh, I'm so
So,
excited about that.
oh,
So, if you want to get, Kara is going to send me that Kickstarter link. If you want to participate in that, I'll leave it down in the comments for y'all to check out at your own time. So, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Can you show the Gold Ocarina one more time before we go?
yes, it's like it's really something crazy that I want to try in my life, making a gold ocarina. And I invite everyone who wants to see the project and also to follow the all the steps. And I think I will be able to launch it in a week or two.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thank you again, Caro. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you too. Have a nice day.